Welcome back, Day Drinking with Dog. I have another solo pod today. My guests just are a little unreliable, apparently, this week, or this month, for sure. Jason Loomer was supposed to be on, but he had to go to the DMV today, like an appointment. Like, that's still a thing? Like, what the fuck? Is he registering like a 2001 fucking Jetta? Anyway, so I got a double show next week. I got him coming back on, so he promises, with Drew San Pietro. We call him 2 Chainz. Drew 2 Chainz San Pietro. Those two guys will be on next week. Really not promoting anything. We're just going to be talking shit. These guys used to have their own podcast, so they're itching to get on mine and spew some nonsense for everyone's entertainment. So welcome to the show. A few things to announce. I have a website, www.daydrinkingwithdog.com. That's 1G at the end. I am not Snoop Dogg. I'm not double G. Just 1G. It's pretty cool. Right now, it's kind of in its infancy stages. I got a lot of pictures. Everyone that's pretty much been on the show that we took pictures is on that website. All of my shows automatically download to that website. There is a store on there. Really, it's just a sweatshirt and a sticker right now. So I'm doing all the back end of that stuff in the weeks to come. So there should be a lot of other stuff on the shop, and the videos will be downloaded and reels and all that kind of fun stuff. So when I have all these cool guests coming on, they'll be able to see them, and I will be able to download all that good stuff. So www.daydrinkingwithdog.com 1G. So last night, or this past 2 nights, was All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. I'll get to the game first, and I'll talk about the Derby in a second. The game is fine. I feel like, I've been watching All-Star games my whole life. Baseball, not the other shit. I don't really watch NBA or football. Sometimes the hockey one, but baseball is really the only one that really translates well. Except for the fact that the pitchers only pitch 1 inning and not everyone plays the whole game. But it's still fun to see all the stars, all the guys you like. The Red Sox only had one guy. Like, I can't believe Devers didn't make it. Like, he's up there in power numbers. Doing good. His average is down a little bit. But yeah, I got Pete Alonso on the NL team. He's batting .211. So that's whatever. It is what it is. So we only had the closer, Kenley Jansen. He came in for one batter, struck him out. So that was it for the Red Sox, but they're actually looking pretty good after the All-Star break. Got an easy schedule, maybe accumulate some wins and see what happens. But the game was 3-2. The guy, Diaz, I don't even know who the fuck these people are sometimes, hit a 2-run homer in the 8th. NL's first win in 10 years, so good luck to their, congratulations to them. And that'll, kind of boring, 3-2. That's kind of how these games are. Pitchers only have to pitch 1 inning, so they usually dominate. They don't get worn down. They're all revved up for that 1 inning, so it's not many long balls. There was 2 last night, I think, but that was it. But going into long balls, the Home Run Derby, I don't know. I can't get behind it anymore. They screwed up the format. Julio Rodriguez had like 42 or 41 home runs, and like he was out of gas. They're pitching from like 7 feet away. Just rapid fire. You don't get to fucking admire the bombs because they're on to the next 2 already. They should go back to the 10-out format. Guys can take their time. Yes, it gets a little boring sometimes, but when they get in a groove, it's so much fun to watch. Berman should still be broadcasting this thing with his back. A lot of problems I have with it. It's still a cool event, but I don't know. Like I only watch it because it's on. There's nothing else on. We are literally in the dog days of summer. Nothing else is on sports wise. I'm trying to get into a couple shows. Just haven't gotten that far yet. It is what it is. Like it's cool. I wish the Red Sox player like Devers was in it, or anybody from the Red Sox, just to give me a little more juice. But I don't know. Kind of cool that Vlad won. So first father-son duo to both win the Home Run Derby, which is kind of neat. But again, I don't know. Not a fan of the format. The 3 minutes fucking swing just try to pitch. I saw a reel today that Braden sent me, and it was a guy with like 4 ways to change it, and I pretty much said the first 2 is go back to the 10-out format being one of them. And he made a great point. Instead of having, I didn't see Alonso up there, but I saw on Twitter that I guess whoever was pitching to him was awful. and kind of ruined it for him because he's won the event twice, I believe. And they should just have a pitching machine. Just make it easy. It pitches every, let's say, 10 seconds. Guys aren't running out of gas. And, I think it would be a level playing field, which is a great point. And get rid of the kids in the outfield. I guess a kid got hit last night, like pretty smacked in the face, trying to catch a fly ball in that fucking sun. You saw how bad it was in the All-Star game yesterday. So get the kids out of there. And, one guy, the guy on the reel said, put the Twitter trolls out there. That'd be hilarious. When they don't know anything, they're so unathletic, and all they do is talk shit. So seeing them get hit by some baseballs would be pretty funny. All right, so that was the All-Star game. I read this article last night. Now, I'm kind of fascinated with logistics when it comes to sports. And, you might go to a football game, a basketball game, a baseball game, and you're just sitting there and you're having a great time. But I'm like kind of fucked up. Like I like to really kind of know what goes behind everything that made that one event happen. And there's this interesting article. Let me pull it up. An interesting article of the Patriots. And Robert Kraft bought two, I want to say Boeing 777s, like the really big fucking jumbo jets. Back in 2017, he paid like $2 million or $3 million per. Hold on, here it is. And basically what's going on, so I'll read it to you here. The Patriots paid $10 million. $10 million for two Boeing 767 300 ERs from American Airlines in 2017. The planes can fly nonstop for 12 hours, costing $20,000 to $30,000 per hour of flight time. Now, this seems like a lot of money, right? But it could actually save the team millions in the long run. Here's why they did it. NFL teams only play 8 or 9 away games each year, compared to 41 in the NBA or 81 in Major League Baseball. Hockey's kind of the same as basketball. NFL teams start coordinating hotels, transportation months in advance, focusing on everything from a custom protein-packed menu at the hotel to the security guards that protect players and staff at night. It's a process that takes months to plan, and each NFL team typically budgets about $4 million per year in travel expenses. But the toughest part is coordinating flights. Here's why. NFL teams typically travel 20-plus thousand miles a year in a season with 150-plus people and more than 15,000 pounds of equipment. So while other sports leagues can use smaller planes because they don't have as many players on a team, like A320s, 737s, and so on, NFL teams require much larger aircraft from commercial airlines like the 767s or the 777s. But there's one problem. Many airlines don't want to work with NFL teams. That's because their most profitable planes sit idle for days at a time while NFL teams travel. Here's an example. The New Orleans Saints have a game against the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte, North Carolina. But New Orleans doesn't have an airline hub. So United Airplane has to fly empty from Houston to New Orleans to pick up the team. The plane then flies to Charlotte, sits in the ground for 33 hours or so, flies the team back to New Orleans, and then proceeds to fly empty to New York City for its next flight. United is only paid for the 3 hours of flight time, even though the plane was used for 44 hours. And it's one of the reasons why many airlines have, A, either jacked up the pricing of the NFL charter flights, or B, stopped chartering flights altogether. American Airlines, for instance, has already dropped all chartered teams except the Carolina Panthers, Cowboys, and Eagles because those have the big hub airports. Now, there are other solutions. Some teams have started signing agreements with charter-only companies like Atlas Air or Miami Air. But another way to avoid this problem is owning your own plane, which the Patriots have done. That's why Robert Kraft paid the $10 million in 2017. The jets are 30 years old. Now, that's nothing in airlines. Cost $20-30 per hour, like I said, and typically include more than $200,000 in annual storage fees. But the interior, here's the key. The interior is customized with 222 business class seating, including extra legroom, Wi-Fi, HD screens for in-flight entertainment, and a custom food menu with burgers, blah, 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 blah. This gives New England Patriots ultimate flexibility other teams are catching on to. The Arizona Cardinals bought a 777, just one though, that seats 288 people with 28 first-class pods, including lie-down seats, and 48 business class seats. The logistics behind the NFL are getting more complex by the day. Some teams like the Patriots and Cardinals are getting ahead of the game. But now with the NFL franchises valued at over $4 billion, $4.5 billion, it's not that big of an expense. Makes sense. This article, I want to give credit, was from Joe Pompliano, at Joe Pompliano on Twitter. Basically what I'm getting at is that's football. Like, that's almost like the easy sport, if you think about it, with just the 8 or 9 flights. Yes, there's a lot of people on these flights, there are a lot of things that are going into booking the hotels for the teams and the families and, you know, the staff members and all that stuff. But that's why they're months in advance. Fascinates me more is in the MLB and the NBA and the NHL because, one, obviously more games. Yes, there are less people, but travel, the arenas, so basically every football team pretty much owns their arena, and then they can book, they know the schedule pretty much in advance before we do, so they can book the concerts, the summer series, the Taylor Swifts, all that stuff, and not conflict. Playoff games are in the winter, so the outdoor stadiums really don't have to worry about any kind of concert problems. It's just pretty much football in the Northeast and the North because, you know, it's the weather. But now you get into basketball, baseball. Basketball, for instance, because they play the playoffs in April, May, and June. And there's no rhyme or reason to playoffs. Like, you could either make it, you can't. You could lose in the first round, the play-in tournament. You could make it to the finals like Miami. Miami was one game away from not even making the playoffs, and they made it to game, 5 of the finals. So they could have booked a Taylor Swift concert, a Blink 182 concert, whatever you want to call it, let's say in May, and now they have to work around that concert because they don't want to move it and go to, you know, now this is why a lot of these NBA and NHL series get pushed so long. It takes over 2 months to play them, is because sometimes there's 3 days off in between because these arenas have shit booked. But I don't know. I'm just dumb with shit like that. I like to see like just how it all works, and it's gotta be a stressful job being a team travel agent or logistics person for travel for these major teams, because, you know, if you fuck up, you're probably losing your job. This just crossed the board today. Glad I used private tax guys. Thank you, Dave Gibbs and John Gibbs, for doing my taxes this year, because it just came out that H&R Block, Tax Act, and Tax Slayer have shared over the last 2 years extraordinarily sensitive data to who other than Meta, of course. Facebook at the forefront of stealing all of our information as much as they can, as fast as they can, and they seem to have no backlash to any of this shit that goes on. So I recommend supporting your local tax guy. Go to him. Maybe he'll cut you a break. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys don't really have the time to gobble up a bunch of stuff because, you know, they got to do their friends and family and stuff like that first. But this is crazy. And, like, this coincides right when Threads come out. So Threads is the Twitter of Facebook. Zuckerberg just launched it, like, 2 weeks ago. Already, like, I could be wrong here, 30 million people signed up. What it is I forget the term, but basically, so you sign up for Threads, and let's say you don't like it. You want to cancel Threads for whatever reason. You have to now cancel your Instagram account, and I believe your Facebook. I'm not sure about Facebook, but I know you have to cancel your Instagram account. It's not a bait and switch, but it's something along those lines. And this is typical liberal media, all this bullshit. They want your information. They want you to feel compelled to keep whatever you might have downloaded. They're coming after you. And if you don't see it, like, I will never I actually had a conversation with my friend Chris Mercurio, and he has his own podcast, The Drive Home. And, you know, we share content to social media to try to promote our own shows. So I asked him, are you going to do Threads? And he's like, fuck no. And I'm like, that's how I felt at first before I kind of knew everything else. And I'm like, well, wait a second. You know, like, it's so easy for me to go on Instagram, post my content. It gets shipped right over to Facebook. It's easy peasy. Boom, boom. Takes me 5 minutes. Now, Twitter I don't use as much, but if I downloaded Threads, then it would go there. Maybe it create some more followers there. But then I read about this, so I'm like, no, I'm good. I hate the fact that I have to use Instagram and Facebook, but I do. And it is the way of the world. They operate pretty seamlessly, but I know they're stealing everything. They're just spying on us all. It is what it is. I mean, not that I'm out there to Yeah, whatever, but basically threads, sign up at your own risk. I only use Twitter really to follow journalists, sports journalists, some political stuff. That's about it. Other than that, it's just a cesspool of crap and mean people and, whatever. But, I don't know. So no threats for me. I advise the same. So Joe Rogan and Ice Cube were having a little conversation on his lovely podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, and Bud Light came up. So I guess we'll keep continuing this saga of Bud Light. And I saw a commercial yesterday during the All-Star game, and it was a Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch commercial promoting kind of everything. Budweiser, Bud Light, some of their other products. And it was like a grassroots campaign. It started like, Budweiser starts from the water here, and the guys working the water ship it there, and we're the ones that bottle it, and then we're the ones that label it, we're the ones that pack it, we're the ones that put it on the truck, we're the truck drivers, so on and so forth. Just like this. They are just trying so fucking hard to win back literally an audience you can't lose. You cannot lose that audience. And it's I don't know, controversial as that may be, living in America where everyone's free to say whatever they want for the most part. Like, you didn't have to ruffle those feathers. And this Dylan Mulvaney shit is just like, so basically what Ice Cube and Joe Rogan said is, we're sick of this shit. And I am too. Like, June was, Alphabet Month, and now they're going to have an Alphabet History Month in October. And again, I don't flop my heterosexuality, do I? I don't think so. I mean, maybe because I'm dressed in shorts and a baseball hat and whatever. But, and the fact that I'm talking about this right now, and in my head I have to watch what I say, is the most fucked up part of it all. It really is. I'm trying to get sponsors on the show, and I'm like, do I have to curb my content? Like, really? Like, I don't fucking come out here and spew hatred. It's just common sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong. I don't fucking know. But I guess it is what it is. I mean, but they're allowed to throw it down your throat. Like, get ready in about a week when the Women's World Cup starts. Just watch Megan Rapinoe. It's her swan song, and then she's going to be a political activist for the rest of her life. And we're going to see her purple fucking hair on TV fucking constantly. Just watch. Watch the ads. Watch the messages they send during this. So Megan Rapinoe is attacking Dave Chappelle, Sage Steele, another woman from ESPN. She's not Susie Colbert. I can't remember the other one. Because they are sticking up for women's rights in women's sports. But Megan says she would love to play with a trans woman on the soccer field. And that is bullshit. Because I've said this before on the show. Megan has already made her money. She's already has her fame. Now she wants something to stick fucking her legacy on. And that's going to be playing with trans men or women. Well, I don't even know. Whatever it is. A man that became a woman and now is fucking running laps in the soccer field around people. This is so commonsensical to me. Why this shouldn't happen, and it just irks me. Like, why is this even a fucking argument? Like Bill Burr jokes about, LeBron James goes to the WNBA and dominates, scores 300 points a game. Like, there's a reason why we classify men's and women's sports. We separate the two. Everything, golf, even billiards for whatever reason, but like, there's all these divisions. Yes, they play mixed doubles and stuff, but there's one man and one woman on each team. So just get ready. That's all I'm saying. Oh, it's going to be, I love the United States, but boy, they are trying very hard to make me root against them. And they're not all that bad. Like, she's at the forefront, but they know, like, she's probably the captain. I don't know if she's the captain. Alex Morgan may be the captain, but she's the head. She's the old statesman of the team. So all the young people are gonna have to look up to her, or they'll be shunned. And I hope there's a lot of journalists out there that will ask people other than Megan Rapinoe what they feel about this issue. And will they have the balls, I guess that's pun intended, to say something? We'll see. And by the way, the Bud Light sales at Stonebridge are fucking awful. We're doing about 3 cases a week. We used to do 150 a week. I mean, granted, that was before all the RTDs came out, like High Noons and White Claws. But let's say we do a good 25 to 30 a week. Pretty nutty what's going on out there. They were down 26% on top of the 25% they've been down since April 1st, since this April Fool's joke backfired on them. And over the July 4th weekend, down another 26%. So, and that new ad ain't going to help. That's just like, please. Fucking unreal. All right, we're going to finish on this. This is another quickie today. I like the little quick ones. In and out. Get the rest of my day going. Back to my UFOs. Actually, if you can see my table here, I got all sorts of UFO stickers on here. One's a beer one, but there's a podcast called Event Horizon. I've listened to it a couple times. I'm not like a devout listener or anything, but I've listened to some clips of it. And Tim Burchett, he is a Republican congressman in Tennessee, has claimed he's seen the classified documents from the CIA, seen some of them, and basically is saying that the world is not ready. And by world, I mean governments are not ready for the technology that these aliens hold and they have discovered. And that's quite frightening. Again, you have to let, take movies out of your head. Like, don't think of Independence Day or, War of the Worlds and shit like that. Like, just think of, what are they just here chilling? Have they been here for 1 billion years? Hiding out in the ocean? That's kind of one of my theories. Are they here for world domination? Are they here to annihilate us? Are they here for our resources? Or are they just kind of studying how fucked up this world is and fucking war happens every 6 seconds and no one can get along and power and greed and money control 99% of what goes on in this world? But I don't know. I think they're just here. I mean, I think they would have done something already. Or they're here to protect us from ourselves, from nuclear war, because that will kill all the resources on the planet. But the evidence is so close to coming out, and maybe it should stay classified for a little while longer until they can figure out the technology and maybe why they're here. But they're here. Come on, you know it. I love it. All right, guys, that's it for a nice Wednesday. I'll be golfing tomorrow with Red, Zach, and Campy for Sean Healy's. Where's my guy? He's down there. Sean Healy's tournament. Our buddy passed away almost 2 years ago, and this will be the second annual tournament that Todd, his brother, is running. Great cause. Money goes to great charities. And it's up at Lyman Orchards this year, which is a great spot for tournaments. A little bit of a drive, but good course, good layout. Hopefully dodge some raindrops tomorrow. So we'll be doing that. And next week, like I said, I'll have Loomer and 2 Chainz on. That'll be an interesting conversation. I know we'll bring up a lot of the topics I just talked about and get their opinions and their thoughts on all of that. Again, my website, www.daydrinkingwithdog.com. These are now all recorded. They will be on YouTube channel. It's Day Drinking with Dog. I'm still in phase 1 of 10 phases of trying to figure all this shit out. But you can find the videos on YouTube at Day Drinking with Dog, I believe. If not, Jeremy Wells, something. But I'll get all that clarified this week. And again, you ever want to come on the show? I got some great guests coming up. I got some Tony G running for mayor of Milford coming up probably in like a month, closer to election time. Running for Republican mayor on crime, by the way, that is at the forefront right now of what I would hope someone would run on. Because I'll leave you on this. In my parking lot, I live in New Haven Ave, Colonial Manor. Come say hi, have a beer. I was leaving for a tournament on Monday morning, and there was I wouldn't say brand new, but probably a 2020, 2021 Honda Accord in a spot with no tires on it and milk crates underneath. So I guess we have surveillance cameras there now, and they looked, and a black van pulled up at like 4 in the morning, Monday morning, in the rain, got out, smashed the window, took the lug nut locks out of the glove compartment, unlocked all 4 tires, drilled them off, threw them in the van, and we're gone in like 5 fucking minutes. So now the person has no tires and a smashed window. So, guys, if you live in complexes like I do, move your lug nut locks inside, I guess. And, I mean, how often do you really need them? But I guess you kind of do need them if something happens on the highway. Or hide them in a different spot. I don't know. Just be diligent. Be proactive. Obviously, I always have your... Like, I'm lucky I have a Kia that's pretty cool. It has all the... You know, if my car gets touched, I get a notification on my phone pretty much. If it gets stolen, I get a notification. Anything, you know, window breaks, I get a notification. So I could pretty much be on top of it. But, I don't know. It's getting shitty out there, and it sucks. But, you know, like I said, stay diligent, stay safe. Guys, I'll talk to you next week. Day Drinking with Dog, www.daydrinkingwithdog.com.